Welcome to the Anchor Your Retirement podcast. I'm your host, Barbara Gullen, hanging out with my buddy and pal, Tony Shore. Hi, Tony. And
Well,
for
hey,
the
Barb.
first time in 7 weeks, we don't have to talk about the government being shut down because
Right.
they finally reopened the government.
Yeah, we were every week we'd say, hopefully by the next show,
Yes,
hopefully by the next show. And it's finally that show, Barb. Has it been
finally.
7 weeks? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
longest shutdown in government history.
Oof.
And, last night we had our client holiday party. We get ours. We are the first on the list for the holiday parties. I like to do it before Thanksgiving so that everybody has a chance to be relaxed when they're there and we aren't in the full court press of the holidays. And gosh, I'm going to get a little emotional saying this.
Oh.
My clients brought so many toys to help support the Marine Corps
Oh.
Toys for Tots
Oh.
that, it's awesome to have an overflowing box of toys that are going to
That's
go to
awesome.
needy families, especially this year.
Barb, I
So
know you love helping out the community and giving back. And wow, your clients really stepped up for you this year.
they
That's
did. I
so
mean,
neat.
it was just those big plastic bins that you can buy at Costco,
Yeah.
you know, they're so generous to let you purchase a big plastic container to store all the stuff in that you bought from Costco on impulse that you're really trying to figure out what to do
Yeah,
with.
that's what they're for. Yeah.
It was one of those stacked almost twice as high as the bin itself, full of
Wow.
toys.
Wow.
So
That's awesome.
yeah, they showed up. For those of you listening, if you listen to this before December 1st, there is still time to participate.
Oh, great.
We have a wish list out on Amazon. People can select a toy from that and it gets shipped directly to our office. So you don't even have to worry about delivering it or doing anything like that. Just
Do
a
you
little
know the
plug
name
for
of the
Marine Corps
list or
Toys
what
for
they can
Tots.
search under?
I know if they go to our Facebook page, BG Wealth Advisory and BG Wealth Management, that the
Good.
QR code is there. I was
Oh,
trying to
good.
figure out how to do that because I did not think about that before we started recording. And
No
now my nose
problem.
is running because I got a little misty-eyed there. So anyway, we're also tears
You're
of joy that
verklempt.
I'm verklempt.
Yes,
Anyway, we'll get over it. We'll get over it. But it was just so exciting to see their
that's neat.
generosity. It's one of the best things that we get to do is to give back to the community. It's one of my,
So it's the
I feel like
Facebook
it's a
page.
responsibility.
Go to BG Wealth
Yeah,
Facebook
BG Wealth
page.
Management.
Management Facebook page. Okay.
Yes.
Good. And there should be a post with a QR code somewhere there
Yep.
for the toy drive.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we've got it pinned.
Yeah.
So anyway,
That's
just,
good.
so we got to see our clients, had some wonderful entertainment, fabulous food. And got to, I was teasing, some of my clients are air traffic controllers or
Oh,
work in
yeah.
the FAA. They're retired air traffic controllers or
Sure.
work, in another part of the FAA. And I'm like, so how great is it going to be to actually get a paycheck for all the work you've done for the last 7 weeks?
Oh, can you imagine going 7 weeks where you work a full-time job and you're showing up at that job and doing your job and not getting a check for 7 weeks
Yes.
when you have bills coming due every week? So
Yes.
that's 7 weeks with no, and not everybody has done what you ask us to do, Barb, and created that emergency fund with 3 to 6 months of living expenses. And I think this is a good illustration of why that's so important because you don't know when you might get laid off or furloughed and
You
for
don't.
how long that could happen to you, your spouse. So you've got to prepare and work with a financial professional. But that said, that's not judgmental on those who
No,
went without a
no.
check because the majority of Americans don't have that.
No, the
It's
majority
just,
of the Americans cannot cover a $400 emergency.
yeah.
So, and especially when you are, you know, TSA, I got news for you folks. They're not rolling in the dough with that thankless
No,
job.
TSA workers are
Yeah.
not making the six-figure salaries that some
No,
people think,
they aren't.
No.
Um,
And they're, and it always frustrates me because it seems like the people doing the hardest jobs or the most important jobs aren't always the best paid.
and
And
we're
we know
looking at
this, and
you
it's
school
unfortunately,
teachers. Yes.
yeah, school teachers, TSA workers are people who keep us secure,
Hmm.
teacher, policemen,
First
firemen,
responders. Yeah.
first responders are not always the highest paid, and it almost never the highest paid, and that's unfortunate. And the government shutdown was hugely impactful. And so thank God it's over and we don't have to talk about that again, hopefully ever. And hopefully they'll change the
No
law that
kidding.
makes it Congress. They have senators, House of Representatives, the Senate and the House should have to stay in session
I
until
agree.
until the government is funded to keep running. That's they
Yes.
shouldn't be able to. They said, well, we can't vote. The House can't vote. They've got to get everybody back to Washington. Back to Washington. The government
Exactly.
the government's in a crisis. It's shut down. There are people without food. They should have their butts in their seats voting. Is
They
what they should.
absolutely should. And I'm kind
And
of
they
like,
shouldn't be able to just be out lollygagging or raising
no,
campaign
I'm kind of
funds.
like break out the cots with the thin blankets and the
Exactly.
lousy excuses for a
The
pillow.
little tinfoil blankets that they give you for
Right.
camping in the cold, that's
Right.
what they should have to
Yeah,
use.
let's throw a
Army
couple of vending
cots.
machines in the back
Yeah,
and
army
you
cots and vending machines and, rations. They
yeah.
should have to do what they're making our servicemen do. So, that's I'll get off that high horse right now,
Mhm.
but, the title of the show, I love what you came up with, Catching Up When You Haven't Been Paid, and wow, how appropriate that ties right in to all these government employees that have been furloughed or even worse, working without pay that
Right.
haven't been paid for. If you haven't been paid in a month and a half, almost 2 months,
Mhm.
um, what do you do? How do you catch up?
Yeah, because at least the people who were furloughed could either tap into the gig economy to bring some cash flow
Yeah,
in
go get some temp
or
work. Yeah,
file for unemployment.
yeah.
Now, they are going to have to pay back those unemployment benefits that they got.
Mm.
And there are a lot of financial institutions that stepped up with the government shutdown and offered zero interest loans to people. And I don't know how every institution handled it. I know that one of, friend of a friend whose kid works for TSA kind of thing, saw our post on Facebook. And the way that financial institution handled it is that they advanced, they direct deposited whatever this person's take home pay was
Mhm.
every 2 weeks, and they did that every 2 weeks so that
Oh, wow.
it was the same as getting a paycheck. So, obvi
Interesting.
and here's an interesting thing, the federal employees who are going to get that back pay, and I believe they all will, and now they're even floating out bonuses for some of those critical positions where they continue to show up. It's not going to come in all at once. For air traffic controllers, they're gonna get 70 to 80% of that back pay within the next couple of days if they haven't gotten it already, but then they have to go back and still work on that last 20%. So, obviously, the first thing I'm gonna tell you is that if you have taken out a loan of any sort
Mhm.
to make ends meet while you weren't getting a paycheck, that paycheck needs to go to repay that loan first so that you aren't getting yourself deeper into a hole. I know that a lot of those were 0% interest loans,
Mm.
at least for 90 days or something like that. But with the holidays coming, be disciplined and get that loan paid back first so that you don't end up with a bigger bill on the back end of all of this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be crucial.
It is.
And I think that people need to understand um that if they did use credit cards or take out loans, those types of things, or pull money out of their retirement accounts, God forbid, to help cover
Mhm.
it,
Oh, that's
that
the last that's like your last
resort.
yes. Thank you.
And I mean,
You have
there
a
are,
word
in
today.
fact, even there's always probably a better option. It's probably never, you can almost say never. I mean, life happens, but there are things, go to somebody like Barb. Barb, they could come to you and talk to you first before ever making that move, because you could be making a very costly and critical mistake that could derail your whole retirement if you start pulling out of
It
uh,
really could.
your retirement funds accounts, your tax designated accounts for retirement, like 401ks, TSPs, IRAs, before you retire while you're still working.
Especially if you're under 59 and a half,
Yeah.
charge an additional 10% early withdrawal
Plus
penalty,
the taxes you'd have to pay on it. It's not,
and
and
that's gonna be
even if it's a
taxed again
loan,
this year.
you don't want to do it. Some 401ks and plans offer you to take a loan out if you're under 59 and a half, but you
Yes.
still have to pay it back in full, and you want to, and you miss out on so much. You're going to
You
lose a lot of money doing that,
you
right?
miss out
So,
on the potential for growth. If you are at that last resort, however, I would tell you, if you've got a choice between taking a loan from your 401k and taking some sort of hardship withdrawal, you're gonna wanna take the loan,
right.
because you're paying yourself back. You are missing out on that growth
Hmm.
opportunity of that money while you're paying yourself back. But most 401ks, if you have to take a hardship withdrawal, then mandate that you can't contribute to your 401k for 6 months after that. So
Yes.
you're really shooting yourself in the foot by doing that. And again, when you haven't gotten a paycheck for a while, just like we talked about, I've been talking about this. There was a radio station here in town that interviewed me. You're going to want to take care of the non negotiables first. Those non negotiables are shelter, food, and transportation. So if you've got some catching up to do, maybe you went into a forbearance program with your mortgage company.
Hmm.
Maybe you struck a deal with them where you're taking that missed payment and making it up a little bit over the next year and adding to those payments. Those are the first things you're going to want to get caught up as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
or maybe, is it possible a home equity loan or a HELOC to cover it, borrow on your house to pay for your house
I,
if
I,
you have
I
equity?
I would try not to do that. What we're talking about now is that we're trying to get back on track financially.
Sure, not get deep,
So
dig a deeper hole, right?
right, and
That's the problem.
if the insurance company will let you add 1/12 of that missed payment to each of the next 12 payments to catch up, and you've got the means to do that, I would rather see you do that than take
Yes,
out more debt.
there you go.
Especially since your credit has probably taken a hit. If you went more than 30 days delinquent on any loan, that
Yeah,
got reported to the credit bureau, and that will drop your credit score like a bad habit.
yeah, it will.
So, but it's the thing to do is that when these federal employees are getting this back pay back returned to them, is to stay on top of getting any loans paid back that you took out to bridge the gap. And I know for some federal employees, it's going to be really goofy. I've heard stories about some that were mandated to be in office 8 hours, but they only worked 3 or 4 of those hours, and that the back pay is technically only going to be for those 3 or 4 hours. So there are going to be people that take a financial hit from
Oh, for
this.
sure, yeah.
The whole economy is going to take a hit. It
Yeah,
already has.
yes.
Um, and what
Yeah,
was interesting,
we've seen some effects from it for
yes,
sure with the
and we
economy.
saw a rally in the stock market when they talked about reaching the settlement. And now that the settlement was reached, the government is reopening. All of the sudden, the market's having a bit of a pullback, waiting on all of that back economic data that we haven't seen for almost
Yes.
2 months.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it?
It's confusing is
Yeah.
realistically what it is.
Yeah, yeah, and some of it doesn't make any sense. It's kind of interesting. Some of the announcements they make, and then once they're made, you expect the market to do one thing, it does another. So, but we have hit this year has been a good year overall for the market.
It
It's
has
not a
been.
sky is falling situation. However, you
No.
do have to look at these things in the overall economy, and it will be interesting to see what
How
the
all of
effect
it
of
ends up.
this
Yeah.
usually the effect, we might see it early next year. It might be a while before we see the effect. So,
I think so, and I think that the holiday season will mask some of that with people already spending a little bit more around then. But
mhm,
getting back to playing catch up, y
yes,
the worst thing you can do in this moment is hide from your creditors. You're gonna want to, and it's
be
goes
proactive.
you wanna be proactive, and I know it goes against every bone.
Instinct.
Yes, an instinct, because who wants to talk to somebody who's trying to collect money from you? And the thing is that if you approach them and you give them the lay of the land and spell it out for them, then they know you're not trying to hide from your responsibilities. You're trying to figure out how to do the best with a situation that you didn't create.
Right.
So, communicate, communicate, communicate,
Yep.
and
Over communicate.
over communicate. Do not over promise on when you think you can get something paid. And
Under promise, over deliver.
right, well, and know your rights as a consumer
Yeah.
with all of this. Understand that once a collection agency has talked to you about a debt one time in a 24-hour period, they cannot keep calling and badgering you. They have to call between certain hours of the day. And if they are calling you before 8 o'clock a.m. or after 9 o'clock p.m., that's a violation of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And they can be reported, and they can be fined for doing that. Their job is to try to collect the bill, not harass you into paying.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Harassment is one thing. Collection is one thing, and harassment is another. Right.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But again, if you're trying to figure out which buckets you need to dump the money into to play catch up, it's going to be those crucial housing, utilities, transportation. Oh, excuse me. Ugh. I have no idea where that one came from. And
Wow, that
and
snuck up
food.
on us.
It
Am I
did.
keeping you up, Barb? That's
Yeah.
the question.
I just had too much fun with visiting with the clients last night and
You
running
did.
around.
Oh, that's right. You
I
had your
was
big
up past
party.
my bedtime with the holiday party.
Yeah.
So, we'll chalk it up to that because, oh my goodness, how unprofessional is that to yawn into a microphone? I am so sorry, people. But, focus on the majors. These are we need to look at what's the most important. And I would rather that your holiday spending be a little bit leaner than your house go into foreclosure. We need to be pragmatic about this.
Yeah. Yep. That's huge,
Mm.
Barb. And I think that's really good advice. There are things that you can do. Just you try not to dig yourself a bigger hole, right?
Right.
Especially like the last resorts that you really don't want to touch are your retirement
Mhm.
accounts, your employer sponsored retirement plans, and high interest credit card.
Right.
That's usually never an answer. So one of the other things, call everyone you owe money to and say, "Hey, work out a plan
Mhm.
that's feasible for your situation." And most decent companies will work with you.
They
And
will.
I know you gave that advice early on in the government shutdown when it looked like it was going to go more than the standard week. And I remember you saying, don't be afraid to call your creditors, communicate, over communicate,
And I
get
will
ahead of it. Yeah.
say a lot of companies have been very understanding, especially once we went past the 30-day mark in trying to accommodate people.
Oh, for
Because
sure. Yeah. Yeah. I
ultimately,
mean,
we're all in this together.
yep.
And a credit card company's job is to lend you money in its simplest state. So they want to not get rid of a bunch of accounts. They want to find a way to keep you spending.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. So, yeah, that's interesting. But, again, before you make any big decisions about doing something with financial accounts, make sure you're working with a fiduciary, a trusted financial professional who's going to look out for your best interests. I'm not going to name names, Barb Gullen, but, oh, wait, I did.
Oh,
Barb,
wait, good.
before we go, let our listeners know how they can get a hold of you.
They can go to our website, which is bgwealthmanagement.com, and go to the contact us page. You can reach out there, fill out some information, and we will gladly meet with you for a no obligation one-on-one consultation. We can talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. It's like an hour of being able to ask me anything that pertains to your finances. You can
Nice.
call us if you want to go old school and actually talk to us. Call us at 913-553-6222. And if you want to listen to more of these podcasts, if you want to go back through the archives and see if there's a topic there and just get the Cliff Notes version of what's going on or what makes the most sense, go to your favorite streaming platform and you can find our historical, all 100 of them at this point, I think,
Yep.
podcasts out on those streaming platforms.
Nice. Yeah. Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts,
Mhm.
wherever you get your fine podcasts, you can go there, or you can listen to the last few shows directly on
On the
your
website,
website.
yeah, I think the last 10, last 5
Yeah.
or last 10 are on the website
Yeah, I
for
think the
people to
10,
listen
but
to.
bgwealthmanagement.com again is that website where you can contact Barb and her team through there at BG Wealth Advisory and BG Wealth Management. I think that's great, Barb. Great show today. Listeners and viewers, thanks for tuning in. That does it for today's episode of Anchor Your Retirement with our host, Barb Gullen.
We'll see you soon.